Today we'll be talking about the topic food. So, food doesn't aim to life, but as soon as I say food, many of you might think about how much is my child eating, how much fruits and vegetables are eating, how do I see greens into my child's food. These are all basic questions mostly mothers are worried and anxious about. But today we will go a bit deeper and explore something else. We're not going to talk about this. So we see food is the most earliest and powerful experiences that the child goes through the first. So once they are born, the first relationship that they have with an adult is through feed. So only through feeding and only through food they develop trust, safety, connection, and everything. So feeding is that important. Only through that they develop that trust and connection. So food is not just about filling your child's hunger or taking care of the physical health. It is more than that. It is nourishing the human relationship. So every meal time is actually every meal time is actually about the relationship of the child with the adult, relationship of the child with food, relationship of the child with themselves, and in turn it goes to relationship with the world. That is how important food is. So today I want you to next slide. So we are going to make a shift from how do I make my child eat, how do I make my child eat, to what is my child learning about themselves every time they eat. So this is the part we are going to explore today. And I want you all to make this central shift and ask, what is my child learning about themselves every time they eat? So this is the exploration we are going to do today. So
the main intention behind today's session is I want you to, everything that is being spoken about, I want you to reflect in your own relationship with your child, about your child's relationship with food, and how your own feeding has impacted their relationship with food also. So this is not a extempore, it's not a one single direction. It's about, you should let it impact you, let it churn inside you, realize some things that you want to change, and you should have a strong takeaway going back home where some shift, even the smallest shift, is important for you, might be huge for your child. So I will suggest you to take notes either in the phone or on a piece of paper you have. Note down questions you have, be open, be impacted, it's okay. All of us are learning. So I just want to set the intention for this session.
So, as parents and adults working with children, our goal is not just to make them eat or give them nutritious food. That's not the only goal. It is to make the children have a beautiful relationship with food and have a lifelong well-being. That is the core of what we are going to see.
I skip this slide.
Seconds.
Back.
So this will be the session flow for today. How food creates emotional memories, how food builds independence and belonging, how is food connected to body awareness, body autonomy, and self-protection. This will be the core. And then we will move on to how you can support children in respective ages like Casa, Toddler, and Elementary. So this will be the overall flow of the session today. Diana. So food is more than nutrition, as I said. So how is food? Food is connected to emotions, and then it is connected to independence and social awareness. From there to it also creates body awareness in children, and it is the most important part in for the child in owning their own body. So body autonomy also plays a role, from which lifelong well-being is uh, given to the child if we support the child's development. So this is the flow. We will be exploring each topic. So first, you wanna
So this you can note this is a circular diagram. So every time a child is fed or a child eats, these things happen inside the child's body and mind. That is why it is circular.
So food creates emotional memories. So we'll see how food is related to emotional memories. So our first relationship with food is also our first relationship with another human being. So this is basically the moment the baby is born. So once the baby is born and it comes to the world, he or she comes to the world, the first thing that the baby experiences is the connection through breastfeeding or bottle feeding. It doesn't matter what mode of feeding it is, but the feeding is all about connection. So once the baby is born from a safe place of womb to this world, the child is overwhelmed, obviously, to the world. So feeding is not just about hunger. The child is going to feel connected. The child is going to feel safe. Child is going to experience trust, warmth. It is all about connection, warmth, safety, trust, and relationship, and not just hunger. So, and that becomes the feeding relationship becomes the child's first experience of trust. So, more than the method, breastfeed or bottle feed, the way the adult feeds with warmth, attunement, and emotional presence, eye contact, and completely being with the child, that is going to have a positive impact on the child. It doesn't depend on the method of feeding or breast milk or be it bottle milk. That doesn't matter. The adult and the child's connection is what is going to matter here. So food begins to carry this emotional meaning right from birth. These early experiences becomes the foundation of the child's lifelong relationship with food. So when this is given in a positive way, the child's relationship with food is going to become a positive relationship. Because when the child cries and the child is taken care of through feeding, the message that we are sending to the child is, I have a need and my needs are important and someone is there to take care of the needs. This is the message that we are giving to the child. It's not just about feeding the hunger. So the message we again and again keep giving the child is that the child is important, I am important, and if I cry, my mother or father is going to respond with warmth and care, and my needs will be taken care of. This is the basis of the emotional connection and trust in the world. So that is how food creates emotional memories. So every meal continues to strengthen that association. So this is how food is really connected to emotional memories right from birth. Do you want to say something? The first gift we give our children through food is not nutrition. It is a feeling that the world is safe, that their needs matter, and that they are cared for. So this is the basic of food that creates emotional memories. Nutrition nourishes the body. So whatever milk or food that you give to your child is going to nourish the body. But the experience of giving food to the child, the experience of feeding is what will nourish the relationship with the child. So that's nurturance. It is not just about filling the hunger. The nurturance is what food is connected to emotional memories. food builds independence and belonging. Um, so when we say independence, and when we say food, usually we think about once the child becomes older is when independence start is usually what many people think. But independence starts very early. Once a child is able to walk on their own and carry simple tasks, they can take part, they can actively take part in food contribution. So children don't have to wait until they are older to participate in food preparation. Active participation is different from helping. So why am I saying this? Because when the child is made to participate in everyday household chores, especially when it comes to food, they are not helping, they are actively participating. Because active participation is giving them responsibility, and all along with that, we are saying, I trust you to do this. That is the message we keep sending. And when they are involved and when they are trusted and given that responsibility, they feel an important part of the community or family. They feel belonged. That is how they start to feel belonged and they start to feel important in a family and in a community setup. So active participation. So that's why we don't say children help. Help is different. Help again puts the meaning that adult is responsible and child is just given some little task to help the adult. That doesn't put the child under, you don't trust the child to give a responsibility. That's why we don't say children help with us. So we say children are involved in meal prep because children are actively participating in that. So participation creates a sense of belonging because they are trusted and given that responsibility, and because of that they feel important and they feel belonged in the community. Simple tasks also builds confidence. Simple tasks, when I say right from 1 year, when they are able to walk, you can ask them to wash vegetables, and when you take them out to buy vegetables, when they come back, you can ask them to sort vegetables, put it in the fridge, wash, peeling, cutting, kneading dough. These are all very simple tasks which any child from 1 year old can do, and we can keep increasing the work responsibility according to their potential and skill development. So simple tasks build confidence, and when children are given that responsibility and when they are actively involved in food preparation, they are more involved in eating also. So instead of breaking your head and saying, how do I make my child eat? The simple way is to involve them in food prep, because when they make their own meal, when they see every step, they are more curious and willing to explore the food. Because many toddler parents ask me how children eat here, whatever is offered, and but refuse at home because that this is the difference, because they are very much part of whatever is made here. So they are more willing to explore and they do eat whatever they make. But when they are not even aware of what is happening and when they are given just the food, they are definitely less willing to explore that. So children are more invested in eating what they prepare. Mealtime becomes opportunity to practice grace and courtesy. So when you sit as a family here, Montessori, in any Montessori environment, food prep is part of the classroom culture. So it is not outside of curriculum, it is part of it, snack prep and food prep. So the children also set the table. They set table, put the tablecloth, take plates and sit down and eat together. And even as a family, when you are sitting together and when you eat, they learn a lot of things like waiting for their turn. When lunch is served, we serve only one by one. So they learn patience to wait. They learn how to ask for more. they learn a lot of things when you sit as a community, and also the sense of belonging and the connection that gives when you all sit together and eat is what matters. So mealtime becomes opportunities to practice grace and courtesy, and sharing a meal builds community. So this is very important uh, for the child to feel connected, for the child to feel that they are important part of the community, and they are responsible and they can contribute, and also to feel belonged. These all leads to independence. So when you see a child doing simple tasks here, like carrying the water bottle, carrying, setting the table, peeling, and all that, it is not just that they are learning practical skills. They are actually learning more than that. They are taking responsibility for their community. They are taking responsibility for themselves. There is connection. There is trust. There is confidence. There is a lot more than just the practical skill. Food is one of the simplest yet most powerful opportunities in a child's day to experience 4 fundamental human needs. I am needed, I am belong, I am capable, and I can become independent. These are the 4 bases for a child's.
These are the messages they receive.
These are the messages they receive when they are, they are made a family member, a contributing family member. So I am needed, I belong, I am capable, and I can become independent. So this is how food builds independence and belonging. So next is, how does food develop body awareness? So most of us think that as parents, as adults, we are responsible for giving certain amount of food to the children. That is, we know how much the child should eat. This is most of our thinking. I see a lot of nods. Children are born with the capacity to recognize their body's internal signals, but it is not so. Children are born with this capacity to understand when they are hungry, when they are full, when they are in discomfort, when they are in pain, when they are thirsty. They are born with this capacity, and this capacity is from birth. If you actually see, when you breastfeed or when you bottle feed, mothers would have experienced this, and fathers also. When the child feels full, even before developing language, the child will turn their face away from the breast or bottle once they are full. It's a clear no from the child. But do we always respect that no? So children are born with this capacity. They can recognize hunger, fullness, their preferences and discomfort. But when we overlook these signals again and again, and we think that we know how much the child should eat, or we feel that the child hasn't had enough to our satisfaction, then we are overriding their internal body cues. And when this happens continuously, they lose the capacity to listen to their body awareness. Respecting a child's body signal strengthens their body awareness. So it is not just about food. internal body signals is all their body functions: toileting, sleep, food, thirst. There are many parents who have told us that, can you please ask children to drink water every half an hour? Why is my child not drinking water at all? The water bottle is completely full. So what we say is, what is the fact is, children do know when they are thirsty or hungry, and when there is water and food available, and when they feel that internal body signal, they will automatically go and drink water or eat food. And once they are full to their body, how much ever their body wants, they will refuse to eat. But most of us feel that the child doesn't know, and we keep overriding these body signals. Is there something you want to add? Body awareness is not something we teach children, it is something that they are born with. Our role is just to protect it. We don't have to do anything to teach them body awareness. They are already born with it. We just have to not override their body signals, we just have to protect it. And every time we respect a child's hunger, fullness, preferences, and body signals, we help preserve their ability to trust themselves. So when a child says, I am full, and when you actually respect it, the child will start to believe that, okay, I can trust myself. But when the child says, I'm full, and the parent, in all good intention, says, no, you have to eat this one more chapati, the child's ability to trust themselves is gone, because for the child, the mother is the ultimate, the mother or the caretaker is the ultimate power. So when they say, they start to distrust their own ability to trust themselves. So trusting them and respecting their no is very important. That trust becomes the foundation for self-regulation, independence, and body autonomy.
Just add a point. To the point where mothers believe they know how much is best for a child or what is best for a child is mostly driven from a place of concern and fear. More concern, but more of fear. What if they are not getting enough nutrition? What if they are not getting enough food? So, and the fear driven, even though the intention is very true, because it's fear driven, we tend to replace trust over fear, trust with fear, which is never a good sign. Trust is always better than trusting the child's body, trusting their own connection with their body is definitely a better way, better place to be, rather than acting from our own fears and insecurities regarding the child's health. So 90% of the time, the fear doesn't have a base. It is a creation of our own imagination most of the time. Of course, sometimes there is the child needs specific extra special care regarding nutrition that we can handle. But I think it will help to revisit your own. Why do you want the child to eat more? Is it coming from your own fears and insecurities, or does that child actually need it? So it will help to think about those questions the next time you feed the child. And one other point is, ideally all this should have happened from day one of your child. So we are at various stages in our lives, and we may or may not have trusted their connection with their body signals, and we might have overridden them at various degrees. So what do we do now? Are we too late to make a change now? Is a question that you might be thinking. No, it is never too late. Even when your child is 24, 25, still the time is right now. 24 is a Montessori child. 25 only they release out of Montessori. எனக்கு ப்ரூஃப் இருக்கு. சரி, Montessori programs runs till 24, right?
Adult in that 18 to 24.
Okay. So, what can we do today? What can we start doing today? Yeah. So, yeah. So, the first thing is we start trusting them. They are not going to, but 10 years or 5 years are, they didn't have a strong connection with their body signals. They couldn't recognize it. Day one, they are not going to suddenly start saying, I'm hungry, I'm full, I'm thirsty. But we start trusting them. They still have the ability that never goes away. It's only that we have overridden that. Once we take that off, that will start developing. And we trust in the child's ability to reconnect with their body, reconnect with their body signals. What we can do is, one, change our attitude. I have been thinking I know what's best, but it's I also used to believe, and then my daughter taught me that I really don't know what she wants and how much she wants. So it is proven wrong also that we know what's best for our children. So I don't know what's best for my child. I'll trust her. I'll take her lead or his lead to understand what she wants and observe the signs for fullness, observe the signs for thirst, and gently guide them. You can say, I feel like you might be more hungry. Would you like to have? So let them have that sense of agency where they decide how much they want to eat, if they want to eat, if they want to drink. But you can of course suggest and but it's leave the decision up to them. That is one thing, the change that we can start doing right now.
This is about food and body awareness, and we will see body autonomy and self-protection. So as we discussed, food is one of the earliest opportunities for a child to experience their body belongs to them, their body signals, and how they can trust themselves. But when it is overridden mealtimes by the adults around it, they lose their potential to trust themselves. So what usually parents do is, there are 2-3 different types where parents can override these signals. Force feeding, which is a very explicit way of saying you have to finish this through bribe or through punishment, sticks and carrots, where it is explicit force feeding. There's something called distracted feeding. From the outside, it may look like it is very gentle, it is not very harsh on the child, but it has the same impact as force feeding. Distracted feeding is showing TV and feeding the child, or showing some game and this aeroplane, all that games where you distract your child from listening to their own body and giving them food, feeding them. These two have the same impact, and there are parents who unknowingly also put the pressure on children, saying you have to finish lunch, you have to finish snack. So instead of asking why you didn't eat, or why did not you eat lunch, why did not you have snack, or directly saying you have to finish, if parents can understand that why is my child not eating, is it because of the taste, or am I keeping large quantity, if that is done, the direct or indirect pressure to the child will not be there. So when this distracted feeding or emotional pressure or force feeding is done, the child is put in a very impossible situation where the child is no longer in a position to decide if I want to eat or if I don't want to eat. Instead, the child will have to think, what does this adult want me to do? So it becomes from listening to their own body cues to gaining approval from mother or father. I am using mother because feeding is mostly associated to mothers. So I will continue to use mothers, but in general I'm saying any caretaker who is responsible for feeding. So when the child is put in that situation where they are not able to decide if I want to eat or not, but I have to gain mother's approval because she's going to be happy only when I finish this. So they abandon themselves and they start doing things for mother's approval. So when a child is put in the position where a child has to choose between themselves, their body, their growth, and or less the mother's connection or approval, the child will always choose mother's connection, whatever is in this side. The child will always choose the mother's connection and abandon themselves. So when the pressure is there through distracted feeding or force feeding, whatever method that is, the child is going to stop listening to their cues and they will start using their guide as what does this adult want me to do. That becomes their guiding question instead of what does my body want. That guiding question completely goes off. So this situation usually weakens body autonomy because the child is no longer in control of their own body signals. They are not able to listen to their body signals. It is not respected. And they are having to abandon that and listen to the mother's choice. So this weakens body autonomy. Meal after meal, when this continues, they lose body autonomy. And you force a child to eat, they are no longer choosing between eating and not eating. They are choosing between listening to their own body or preserving the approval, love, and connection of the adults they depend on. Children are dependent on connection. So when it comes connection with anything else, they will always choose connection and leave the other part. Your child is deeply dependent on your love and acceptance. If satisfying you means ignoring their own hunger or fullness, your child will learn to silence their body's signal in order to maintain that connection. This is a hard-hitting truth for me when I did the course, my toddler course. Because this is what I also did. I chose connection of my parents and abandoned my body. And to share my own experiences, I don't have a good relationship with food or the world as such. So force feeding is something that will impact you for a long term, even after the child becomes an adult. And it takes a lot of time and healing to get back to your world, to where you actually belong, to be able to sense your body cues, your body pain. It takes a lot of time once that is all overridden again and again.
I wanted to take your time to read this again. If anyone wants to share anything, they can. No pressure. You also, you're also part of the audience. So this concept of children learning to listen to their body signals or the importance, we'll be looking in the upcoming slides. Uh,
State doesn't want to eat just because he or she thinks that food is not tasty just by looking at it, because the color is not good or the appearance is not good, so that won't look tasty. What my mom has made
Sure.
only
Can I have a request? Can you note this question down? We have a separate slide for questions. We'll take all questions together. I think that will be better. So, I speak a lot about emotional safety with the community and outside also. And I found my own definition of emotional safety. What emotional safety means? Emotional safety means children shouldn't have to protect themselves from the people who are supposed to protect them. Which means children should feel safest with the parents, with the adults around them who is supposed to take care of them. So if they feel they have to abandon themselves to feel safe with the parents, they don't feel emotionally safe. So that is my definition of emotional safety. So instead of reading this, what I feel is, if children have to abandon their own body signals, their own connection with their bodies to get the approval of the parent who is feeding or the caregiver who is feeding, they are no longer emotionally safe in that relationship. Is what I understand when I read this. So it might be hard hitting, it might shake you a bit, but it's the truth, and we can always make a change today. So I am saying this because I want you to understand, and you will also understand in the upcoming slides, how important it is for their own safety, physical safety, sexual safety, for everything. Their connection with their body and their trust on their body signals is very important.
Body autonomy, the foundation of self-protection. So when we say self-protection, usually self-protection or sex education, we usually think about around the age 5 or 6, where we teach good touch, bad touch, private parts, name of the private parts, all that. But self-protection begins long before that. When children are respected for their, when they are saying I'm full, when they are respected, that is when they start trusting their body. So, but the first lesson in self-protection begins much earlier when they say, my body belongs to me. I can notice what my body is feeling. I know when I'm hungry, I know when I'm full, I know when I'm thirsty, I know when I'm uncomfortable. I can say no and it is respected. The trusted adults around me will listen when I express my discomfort. Safe relationships are those in which they are heard and respected. So, as we all saw, the child is capable of listening to their body cues, and when a child comes and say, I am full, and when their no is respected, it is not just about attending to their body needs. What message we are giving to the child is that when I say no, adults around me respect that, and that is what safe relationship is. That becomes the um, baseline of safe relationship. When my body tells me something, the adults I trust take it seriously. They don't force me after that. They listen to me, and they respect that choice. So you can't teach children what is safety and what is safe, what is unsafe. Suddenly, when they become 5 or 6, you can't go and tell them verbally or teach them verbally that this is safe, this is unsafe, this touch is safe, this touch is unsafe. That is not going to help. So how does a child learn what is safe and what is unsafe is through everyday lived experiences right from birth, where from day one, when I said I am full, my mother respected me. When I said I don't want to eat right now, my parents respected that. So every time I had some bodily reactions, my parents listened to me, and they actually respected that, and that is how I felt safe. So that becomes the basis of safe relationship. And when someday, when someone who is unsafe tries to override this, they feel that difference, that this is not how my parents treated me. This is not how my adults in school treated me. So this doesn't seem okay. So that is how they start to learn what an unsafe relationship is. It cannot be taught on a one single day saying this is safe and unsafe. Safe relationship is the basis in which they experience, or which they have to experience it in everyday moment, everyday life, day after day, not as a single day teaching. So the adults in my life listen when I say I'm full, they respect my hunger, they trust what my body is communicating. The child is also learning a much deeper truth that my body belongs to me. What I feel matters. That is what is the most important message that we keep giving the children when we respect their nose and when we respect their body signals. They begin in infancy, so right from birth at every field and continues through every meal. That is how important food and body autonomy and self-protection is connected, and that is why we keep saying, please don't force your child to eat, please don't allow them to explore how much they want, let them listen to their body, let them know how much they want to eat, let them eat less quantity, it is okay. Once they feel hungry again, they will eat, and eventually they will understand that this is the amount I want to eat. But that has to be figured out by the child and not by the parents or adults around them. So it has to come from the child, where they are learning about their own body and communicating it to you, and that is respected. So that is how body autonomy and self-protection is connected. Body autonomy is not first taught during conversations about body safety. It is built in the ordinary moments of everyday life. Every time we respect a child's hunger, fullness, thirst, discomfort, and bodily signals, we are teaching them that their body belongs to them, that their voice matters, and that safe relationships are those in which they are heard and respected. These everyday experiences becomes the foundation on which self-protection is built.
We talk a lot about body signals, connection to the body. So what do we actually mean by that? That's a word, but what does it actually mean? It is a physical sensation actually. So the sensation of fullness is a physical sensation. Hunger is a physical sensation. Thirst is a physical sensation. So we are actually meaning, let the child is already feeling the physical sensation. But we are actually saying that physical sensation doesn't matter and I know better. It's like a child is hurt, physically hurt, and they are coming to you and saying it is hurting. But you are saying, no, you're not hurt, I know better. This is not real. The pain that you are feeling and the hurt that you see in your arm is not real. This is what we are saying when we say we are overriding their bodily sensations. I'm just exaggerating a bit so that I can explain what a physical body sensation is. So, in the diagram we saw food to emotions, right? Every emotion starts as a physical sensation in the body, be it joy, be it pain, be it fear. Everything starts as a physical sensation in the body. So when I work with mothers one-on-one, the number one complaint that I get from them as complaint is they feel I am shouting uncontrollably at my child. I am not able to control my anger and I am shouting at my child. This is the most 90% of the mothers with whom I work, they say this as the difficulty they are facing in the parenting. The first thing I tell them is, you have to learn to identify the physical sensation of anger before it manifests as shouting. We are disconnected from our own body signals. That is why we shout out of control. Anger comes out of control. We are not able to take care of ourselves because we don't know what we want. So, as I said, every single emotion starts as a physical sensation. Fear is a very, very strong physical sensation inducing emotion. When it comes to children's physical safety, when they are modeled, when their connection to their body signals is strong, they will pick up on fear also, and immediately they will come to you, or immediately they will take themselves out of that situation because they know this is fear and this does not feel okay. They are very intuitive beings. Children are very intuitive beings, and they know that something is not okay and I have to leave. They don't use logic, but that intuition is driven only by the body connection, body signal connection. So with be it physical safety where they have to leave that place, or they are interacting with someone who doesn't feel safe, or there is a person with negative intention, with sexual abusive tendencies. If you want, let me put it very blunt, if you want to protect your children from being sexually abused, you have to help them get connected to their body signals today. That is how important body connection is. And this being attuned to their own body signals, fear or not being treated properly. This is not how, as she said, this is not how my parents treated. This is not how the adults in my school treated me. If they have a good benchmark, tomorrow if they start a new relationship, at 15, 16 years, children are starting relationships now. If they do that, do they have the skills necessary to tell a safe relationship from an unsafe one? It starts only when they trust their own emotions, their own body signals. When they're 30-year-old, when in their office, if someone treats them, if it's a toxic work culture, how do they come out? They should trust their body signals, saying this space doesn't feel safe for me, I deserve better, and for that they need a good benchmark that is set by you today. That is set by all of us in this room today. That is how important the concept of connection to the body signals.
we have bruises, we don't know where we got hurt, why we are having so much pain in one particular part of the body, because while sitting or while standing we would have been in an uncomfortable position, but no awareness at that point. We wouldn't have realized even pain at that point. But only when you sit and when there is no other thing to focus on and just your body, you will know that something is paining. That is all disconnection. We are all disconnected from our body. All of us. Because only the evening we feel, I am listening. What did I do? I sat in uncomfortable position on the floor with children. That time I didn't realize. Later I realized I was not comfortable at all. Children don't demand us to sit in uncomfortable position. I don't demand anyone to sit in uncomfortable position. But we are not aware of our own body pain. And hunger, it's the same way. We don't realize we are hungry. We don't realize we are thirsty. We forget to take bathroom breaks. We forget and work all through the day, and the evening we feel, oh, okay, I didn't use the bathroom today for the whole day. We have all gone through this. These are all disconnection from the body.
As you said, dissociation is the right word. So, if we don't respect the child's connection, they dissociate as a way of surviving the relationship. To retain the connection with you, they dissociate from their emotions, which is not a nice thing. Huh?
We are all surviving. Next. Key takeaways from whatever we spoke till now. Our goal is not to control the child's intent. Our goal is to protect the child's relationship with food. Independence doesn't begin when a child is capable. It begins when adults are willing to slow down enough to let the child participate. Every meal is shaping two relationships. The relationship with food, the child's relationship with food, and the child's relationship with themselves. So our role is not to just make children eat balanced food or nutritious food. So our responsibility is much more deeper, where we create an environment where they develop a healthy relationship with food and themselves. And the joy of relationship with food should be a joyful experience, not something stressful or ஐயோ சாப்பிடணுமே we shouldn't be doing. That is our role. Here we will take a few minutes break. If you have questions till now, we can take it. Then we will go into practical ways of how we can help toddler, Casa and Elementary.
So, rushing in the mornings is a pandemic. So, when we were children, we were rushing. So, in reality, there is actually no rush. It's just a force of habit. It's the way, and we'll get the practical through. The rush is in your mind only. By slowing down, we mean revisit why you are rushing. There are practical time constraints, but there is something much deeper in you, a deeper pattern in all of us that is rushing us because we were always rushed to school. If you see if this is true, getting ready to school, to go time on school, and getting ready to go time to somewhere else? Is there a difference in attitude in you? This is the same kind of rush, or is there an added pressure when it comes to school, sending your children to school? I am guessing for me it is definitely different. It's not about time. If I have to take my daughter to a gymnastics class at 6, punctuality is important, but the kind of agitation and anxiety that comes to me is my content from my own childhood. Because my mother rushed me because she had to get to office. Because if I get late, she can't go to office soon because she has to come answer to the school. We are still carrying all of this, and this is where the hurry is coming from. If you resolve this, if you say there is absolutely no rush for the next 1 week, just say it is okay if your child misses school for half a day. Take it, they do that with the permission of the teachers and so on. So don't rush. Planning, help the child wake up half an hour earlier. Just move all your schedules 15 minutes earlier and be aware of your own hurry. If we are all hurried children, that's a term for it. We are all hurried children. We grew up in an environment of hurried. Everything should happen because of the traditional school system and the traditional office system. Times have changed. Things are much more flexible. Many of us don't even have to go to office. We still work in our bed in shorts. But we are still holding on to the old pattern of rushing in the mornings. Rushing in the mornings has become something that we have to do. That is the right way to start the morning. So, to your question, it might help if you revisit if the rush is from your own past or is the rush actually needed. So, if 1 or 2 days, if it becomes late, we can rush the child. But rushing to school every day and at 8:30, when I drop my daughter at 8:30, 4 of us are dropping at 8:30.
No, all school comes between 8:27 to 8:30. Till 8:27, no one comes. You're all alone sitting.
So, imagine you dropping them relaxed 5 minutes early. You have 5 minutes to yourself, giving them a hug, a kiss, have a good day. How will that start to the day be?
For him, it is happening. He is bringing it. For me, that childhood pattern is revisiting it.
Yes, that awareness, 1 second of awareness is what it needs. Once you know that, once you keep that awareness bringing up again and again, it will get dissolved.
3-4 days back, I took leave from office. That day was my very beautiful day. I started slow, relaxed. Yeah, we are the generation who is reparenting ourselves.
Exactly. So I think we can remember this. We are the hurried generation, we are the hurried child. Let's not pass that on to others. This school doesn't expect you to pass it on. Let's balance punctuality to. Let's balance punctuality. Punctuality is important. We need children to respect our time when we respect their time and our time also. So it's not either or. It's actually not an either or. The slow morning and the punctual entry can happen together.
It's a very interesting term, hurried children. So since we've been habituated to that from very young age, right? Now if we are unhurried, it feels abnormal.
Yeah.
Feel like you need to be in that hurry mode. Then only it is all normal and all is
So
well.
this happens at home.
Yeah, to do a task, if you're not feeling anxious or hurried, something is wrong with us. Like, am I not giving enough importance to this task that I don't feel anxious at all? That is our mindset.
And so
We
when,
need that anxiety.
when any deadline approaches, that is when you feel the full rush of things. You get it done very quickly, but before that it feels like something is not normal if you do it in a very slow pace. I think this hurried generation.
It happens for me also. At times, my daughter gets up early and gets ready early also. But I will still be in this hurried and anxious mode when there is actually time. There are 15 minutes, she would have gotten ready 15 minutes ahead of time and she will be relaxing. When just the looking at a relaxed child in the morning triggers something in me because I never got to do that in my life.
The way she, patiently eats, relaxed. She'll sit very relaxed in the morning. It triggers both of us.
So yeah, I had a question.
Same experience. என்னன்னா முன்னாடியே இருந்துச்சாலும் ஸ்லோ பேஸில் ரிலாக்ஸ்டாக போகணுன்ற மைண்ட் செட் லாஸ்ட் அந்த 10-15 இயர்ஸ் முன்னாடினா அப்போ கூட்டு போகணும்னு சொல்லுவாங்க. சரி நம்ம அப்பா ரெஸ்ட் பண்ண கூட டைம் இல்லை, அதுக்கப்புறம் போது question is, food, if I let him to eat, he'll finish one idli and then if he wants to play or do something else, what he'll do is he'll go away from there and then he'll ask me to feed. When I let him to eat by himself, he'll just have one idli. But when he wants me to feed, he can have two. And then only he says no. So how do I see this? How should I take this? Is it a force feeding, distracted feeding?
So we have done things a certain way, and now we are trying to change it. So that we need a transition period for any change. So if he chooses to eat one, it is okay. Or 1-2 hours, after 2 hours, ask him if he wants to eat, if he's hungry. And it will take some time for him to start feeling that hunger and the sense of fullness. You should be willing to give that time instead of feeling the child might be hungry. Of course, there is a possibility the child is actually hungry, the body needs food, but he is not still connected to that sensation or feeling. I would say it is okay for the child to feel that the body to be not fit when it's one for a period of 2 weeks on the transition period. But slowly and steadily, they will start feeling hungry. And they have to learn what hunger feels like again. So at the end of the transition, however long that takes, they themselves will start eating, in this example, 2 idlis. Then you will know that they know how much they want. But are you willing to give that space, and are you willing to not let them have as much as they usually have when you feed them? It's okay. 2 weeks of not eating food, it's okay. Nothing more. Physical damage, no damages will be done to the body. It's okay. Have something ready, or buttermilk or some milkshake. Have something ready that they can drink from. Just 2 sips of something is enough. But you can plan whatever way it makes sense to you and your family. You can plan the transition.
Choosing food. சிலதுதான் ரொம்ப பிடிக்கும் சாப்பிடும், பட் எல்லா வெஜிடபிள்ஸும் சாப்பிடும். அது ஃபீல் பண்ணாமல் சாப்பிட்றாங்க. அது
best money if you include them in the process. It is possible that they may be willing. Just start with one new vegetable per week. It can be a routine. This week you are going to cut carrot and you are going to make carrot salad, and we'll have it together. So introducing a new vegetable or a new dish can be an activity by its own, and as was said, let them get involved in the preparation of that. Of course, they will be more interested in it.
Any other questions from this before we move on to the practical?
Just because by looking at your food, if they think that is not tasty food and not even ready to eat, take one bite also not even ready to take. Then I have forced her to just take one bite first. Then she will start thinking, okay, this is something that I can eat or I can have. Can I just so that initial resistance to the food, that period is becoming very difficult to start.
So wait, does this happen for everything you prepare, or is it just one or two?
Not everything, but sometimes. Like when she sees greens in the curry or things like that. I don't know actually exactly what triggers her just to say no by seeing that, but sometimes, even though that would be something that she will like, she eats. Initially, just by seeing, she will say no, without even tasting it or having one bite or so. then push her, force her, distract her to take the first attempt. Then she will start eating. Right.
So my question to you is, what if she doesn't eat that one vegetable? If she doesn't like it?
Probably that is what we made for that meal, so there is no other option. That's all. I have to make her eat that.
No, you need not make something else, but is that a vegetable, or does she have an option of leaving that and eating just the rice or whatever it is?
No, she just completely denies
Denies
food.
In situations like this, what I would suggest is, if she denies, okay, deny. Let her not eat. And once she feels hungry, if you really want her to eat only that vegetable, you can say that only this is available for today. And if you are hungry, you can eat it. Instead of forcing her to eat at that time, let her feel hungry, and after some time when she is really hungry, she may attempt to eat it. So, for all parents, especially mothers, what I would like to say is, if your child is hungry for a meal or a day, it is completely fine. If your child skips a meal, lunch or dinner, that is okay. Nothing will happen. So what happens is, mothers become extremely anxious when children skip lunch or breakfast, or when they eat less, and that is when force feeding or distract feeding happens, and that becomes the norm or flow, or that becomes the routine. So if she is not okay to eat, let her be. She will come back to it when she feels more. And even after that, if she is saying no to it at all, and she really doesn't like it, then we should move. And for young child like her, we can, or any child for any age group, we can always give options. Not too many options, which is not from a random or a vast variety. You can just ask if whatever is feasible on that day. If do you want brinjal or do you want leaves? That option can always be given, and their options can be taken into account.
That is before cooking, you mean?
Before cooking, yes, before, not after. Before. Before cooking, you can ask.
But what if she prefers just rice, Korean and more, she just eat a rice and all, and எல்லாமே டிவில
Let her take rice.
Nutrition is not the focus here.
yeah
The relationship with food.
Yeah, exactly. So let her eat rice for 3 days. She'll still see you continue eating. She will see the father continue eating everything. How many days can she eat just rice? Let her eat. Let her at least feel in control of her body. Let her be in control of her food and her choices. She's eating rice, which is good.
initially mix பண்ணிட்டு வச்சிட்டு இருந்தேன் so that she will say okay நீயே mix பண்ணேன்னா at least something is interesting feel ஆகலாம் அப்படின்னு சொல்லிட்டு I'll just do rice மட்டும் it will be done and make other things.
So then we have a transition period. Give her just rice. Give her what she wants to eat.
No, include her in prep.
That's
She
all.
eats all vegetables here.
that she says வெண்டைக்காய்
That's all.
வெண்டைக்காய், சொரக்காய், cauliflower, கத்திரிக்காய் எல்லாமே எங்க சாப்பிடுறாங்க.
The sole reason is she is very involved here. She cuts vegetables, cooks, puts it in, mixes it up, lays the table. She is involved at every step of food prep and the community meal. If she feels belong in that experience of eating, and when she has the agency, and she has complete agency over what and how much she wants to eat. That is why children tend to eat more here. That's what parents say. Toddler parents, children are eating, quantity wise they're eating more here. because they get to decide, because they feel they have the power to decide. Maybe at home they don't get to decide how much they want, so they are fighting. They are spending their time fighting. I'm sorry if it offends. Maybe they are spending their time and effort and energy asserting their individuality and their agency than focusing on their. In the age children, they will choose to fight than eat well, because this is when their personality and individuality is getting developed. But when their choices are respected and their agency, they are given agency over what and how much they have to eat, and when they are involved in food prep, naturally there is no way they don't start eating.
They won't eat any fruits. They feel wants to pick them. They were eating now, they are not. But they were eating when they were cutting fruits.
So fruits is a very safe way for them to get involved. Fruits cutting is very simple. They don't have to use a sharp knife. So you can involve them in cutting the fruit. And basically, you can peel it and keep it where they can slice it, depending on the fruit. You can let them do whatever they can do and eat it by themselves. Or you can say, the fruits cut by the This is one thing that you can do. So you can try, make them involved in the process, make them feel in control, make them feel that they are a contributing member of the family, important member. On days when you're actually tired, wouldn't you like to be try that once and see how it feels, and actually let them prepare a safe space, table, butter knife, let them make a mess and give it to you. Slowly, as this happens, they'll slowly start eating fruits also.
So receiving from children, like he says, he said, that is a very different feeling. I don't know how many of you have experienced it at home. You're in the toddler environment when we all sit together, adults also we sit, and when they say, Sharon auntie plate, Sita auntie plate, Sita auntie chapati kalyanch, keep one chapati for her, and when they keep it, that's a very different feeling. At least to get that feel, involve them and give that stick. So it is very important when you involve them so much that they have the joy of offering it to others also, because that is what gives them that sense of belonging. I am important, I'm capable. All that feeling comes only when they offer it to you. When you keep offering them, there is that oneness that is always there, because I will be taken care by my parents and I can't do anything. But when there is mutual connection, and when they are allowed to take care of you, when they are given that opportunity, they feel they will do their best. It's a very different feeling. Try it at home.
And it brings out their empathetic side, which is an opportunity for them to experience their own empathetic side when you let them take care of you. So you.
I have a question. So what if they continuously eating, keep on asking something?
Okay, that is again a disconnection from the body where they are not able to experience the fullness, the bodily sensation of fullness. And Andamari continuous eating is mostly a coping up strategy to something else, to some other experience that is not making them feel good. So I would explore what negative experience is pushing them. We all, let me speak for myself. I eat when I'm upset. I go for sugar when I feel upset. So many of us have that eating as a coping mechanism. It is possible that our parents or our caretakers, when we cried, they gave us food. As infants, when we cried, we were breastfed, we were bottle fed. Even when we are 15 years old, when we cried, when we hurt ourselves, our mothers, out of sheer love, they fed us immediately. So we have an association of, if I feel upset, I have to eat. So,
But normally she's eating during school times and all she won't eat like that. Maybe in her holiday times when she's at home, she
boredom. Eating due to boredom is also a real thing. So see how you can engage her in some other way where she actually wants to do something. The body wants to process. Digesting takes up a lot of energy of the body. But when the body is not able to spend energy any way else, the body wants to digest, wants food only because it wants to digest, not because it is good for the body. So, but for your case, I would explore, apart from boredom, what else might cause the need to eat more than required. And again, help the child get connected to the feeling of fullness.
Can be boredom, can be connection with you, because if food is associating with you, if that is demanding, if that is getting your attention or connection to her, when she's on holidays, even that can be a
I couldn't engage her all the time because myself and Nadia is at home, so no one is there. So I would engage her all the time, so I also had work. So that might also be
to clarify her point, just review if most of the time she spends with you is about food. If that's the case, her message is when my connection with my mother is eating. If there's something like
when I
that.
need Amma, I need food.
So if I ask for food, Amma, I get Amma's connection. So if you start giving connection in different forms, with playing or storytelling, whatever is natural to you, she doesn't have to go to food to connect with you. Just some points for you to review, see, and whatever makes sense to you.
during meal time, நம்ம வந்து distracted meal time like saying அப்படின்னு வருது I'm sort of like strong-ங்கிறது தெரியுது. But what if the kid is like asking to tell some story, அந்த மாதிரி to actually now Vidya is very obsessed with Krishna and story அதெல்லாம். So she keeps like meal time நான் கொடுக்கும்போது she keeps like asking like இந்த story என்ன அப்படின்ற மாதிரி கேட்டுட்டு இருப்பாங்க. எப்படி சாப்பிடுவோம் அப்படி அப்படின்னு. So அந்த மாதிரி so Krishna பாட்டு சாப்பிடுவோம் அந்த மாதிரிலாம் like I keep telling her some kind of a story மாதிரி ஏதாவது சொல்லிக்கணும். But that is in a way wrong-ங்கிற மாதிரியும் தெரியுது. இல்லை it's okay வா அப்படிங்கிறது but because of distraction.
There is no right or wrong. If you are doing it intentionally to distract her and feel her more, then it is clearly a no. And if the conversation is just for a few minutes and then you get back to eating, that conversation is still part of socialization. That is fine. Or point in manner when they keep only talking, what we do here is can we all eat? And சாப்பிடும்போது can we all just focus on eating? We eat what we have in our plates. And then they start. So the difference is how long it is going, what is the intention behind what you are saying on that.
Even in the middle of the story, you can bring her awareness back to her body, saying, do you think you feel full or do you want to eat more? When you think she's reaching a few whiles before that, you can ask her, do you feel full or would you like to have more? Even for every feed, every time you give her something, you can ask her. But sometimes she will sense, even if she has overeaten to when we start this, at some point she will feel like, she will feel this is too much. So let's start from there. Let's start from the overwhelmed fullness bodily sensation, because it is easily connectable because it is overwhelming. And then slowly she herself will, once the awareness is built, the body will go back to doing what is right for itself, and the figure will start listening to her body. Again, reiterating, the body is hugely capable. Leave children, individual children, the human body is thousands and thousands of years old. It is very, very capable of taking care of itself. Even if 2, 3, or 5 years of overeating, the body has thousands of years of memory where it can go back to the balanced. So you can trust that, even if you are not able to trust yourself or your own child for now. Trust that the body is the result of thousands and tens of thousands of years of evolution, and when we take out our hands, it will go back to equilibrium. We don't have to take it back. We just have to stop disturbing it. It will go back. Be it physical health, mental health, psychological health, all we have to do is take out the disturbing factors. It will all go back to balance by its own. It is beyond our power, or even we can't even understand how that happens. But all we need to do is take our hands off, trust, and say, I know this is much bigger than me, and all healing will happen.
Go to the next session. Yeah.
இப்போ நம்ம வந்து ஃபீல் பண்ணணுங்கிறது ஸ்டார்ட் பண்ணணும். பட் ஆனால் it will be like automatically வந்து அவங்க சாப்பிட்டு நிறுத்திடுவாங்க, then we start feeding மாதிரி. Is it okay like நம்ம ஃபீடே பண்ண ஆரம்பிக்காம like okay நீங்களே பண்ணுங்க அப்படிங்கிற ஃபர்ஸ்ட்லேயே சொல்ல முடியுமா? Like I don't know like what if she stopped like touching the food அந்த மாதிரி? Maybe around 1 time. So இல்லை இப்போ if it's getting late in மாதிரி இருக்கு and we are asking the kid to eat and she's not really starting the eating habit, அது ஸ்டார்டே பண்ணலன்னா இப்போ is it okay நம்ம ஃபீட் பண்றதுங்கிறது is okayங்கிற மாதிரியா
Feed பண்றதே தப்புன்னு. We are not saying you shouldn't feed at all. That's not the point we are saying. He feeds me in the morning when I run out of time. So I'm not saying feeding is wrong. Overfeeding or distract feeding or feeding for the purpose of giving what amount you think is right for the child is what is not okay. So if morning hours, if the child, okay, ideally we would say the child should eat on their own. But if the child is not yet there, it's okay. You can still feed her in the morning. And for lunch and dinner, you can give her that independence and slowly take her through it. And eventually she will learn to eat on her own in the morning on time. So we are not saying feeding is not okay. Go to the practical ways to support children. We'll first talk about our toddler and Casa communities, food in toddler and Casa. So in toddler and Casa community, food is not a break from learning, it is an integral part of everyday life. So what children generally do is they take part in preparing the snack, or for toddler they prepare meal because your lunch is prepared and they eat together. For Casa it is snack. So they prepare it, they set the space, the table will be here, they set the space, they take the napkin, they put plates, cutlery, towels, everything, and then they serve themselves. Or if they are very young children, we will serve them and eventually they will get to serve themselves. They eat together and then clean and restore. Cleaning is also part of that food cycle. So the difference is toddlers are very young, they are very focused on their own development. So they clean just their own place, but Casa children are a bit elder and they understand community and responsibility. So there they take each child takes responsibility per day to clean the whole place. So that is how it works. Their community comes because they understand that toddlers are more focused on themselves. So this is what is happen. This is what will happen in toddler and Casa. So when you see your child doing all this, what they are developing is independence, concentration, responsibility, community awareness, body awareness, respect for themselves and others. So this is basically what happens in Casa and toddler. Now we are going to talk about how you can support your child's independence in the community. So that is the difference. Toddler community begins by caring for their own immediate space and practicing simple coordinated movements. Casa, they take turns caring for the shared eating area and supporting younger members because they are a bit elder. So how families can support independence? Child-friendly containers. So when we say child-friendly containers, the containers should be easily openable with just clips. Complicated boxes which needs which needs an adult to open it for them, it is going to hinder independence. So when I say child-friendly containers, for a toddler child, we are not going to expect them to open it on the first day. But the idea is the container should be very simple such that the child is able to achieve it in a few months or weeks, whatever that time is. Very complicated boxes are a huge hindrance to their independence. Realistic portions. We often see parents sending large amount of food in the box, which feels very overwhelming for the child. Sometimes I feel that portion is not cannot be eaten even by an adult. I mean, cannot be completed. So it is very large. So the portion has to be for the child. So when they see a large amount of food, they are going to get overwhelmed and size that the child can comfortably finish.
One point is there is also this expectation that the child should come back with an empty box from some mothers. So it feels for the child an overwhelming amount of food is being given in the box, and there is also a pressure that they have to complete it. So that actually causes a lot of anxiety for children. Chitra, do you want to share that child's experience without naming them?
There are many children who have this pressure of finishing their lunchbox in both toddler and Casa, where they open their lunchbox or snack box and they start eating. And when it's time to go home, they become extremely anxious because they don't want to close the box without completing it. At the same time, they don't want to go home with the unfinished lunch because they are afraid of going home. And I have seen many parents, again with all good intentions and love, when they drop notes in lunch boxes saying please finish lunch, finish your snack, finish your lunch, all those messages are indirect or direct pressure for the child to finish the box. And if they don't finish, they are become extremely anxious. And what happens is children are very smart. So they figure out ways on how to evade this situation. So they realize that if food is spilled on the floor, it goes to the dustbin. So they on purpose, on purpose, but
Accidentally.
accidentally on purpose, spill it on the floor and put it in the dustbin. So it is very hard for us to see children who struggle so much, because once they come in, the freedom is given to them to close their box if they are full or if they don't want to eat. We never ask any child to finish their lunchbox. That is one complaint that I receive from many parents, saying you are not asking children to finish their lunchbox, which we will never do. So when that freedom is given to them, the first place where they receive that freedom, that if they don't want to eat, they can actually close the box. They have got that freedom. They want to implement it. They want that access, but they are also afraid what reaction will come from parents, because many times, including me, the moment child comes out, the first question is, did you eat lunch? That is the first question many parents ask. Even I ask the same question, Preeti knows. So that is the first question we ask. So children are struggling because they have the freedom to close, but they are not able to do it because of the pressure from home. So send small amounts of food that is realistic for a child, because a child's appetite is going to be very light. It's not as like an adult. And please do not expect the child to finish the box, because that's why we have the lunchtime as for toddlers it is 11:15 to 12, and for Casa it is 12 to 12:45, where it is very early. 8:30 they are supposed to finish breakfast and come. They have a snack in between, and then there is an early lunch, and they are going back home at 12:30, 12:45 max. So even if they are hungry, they still have an opportunity to go home and eat whatever there is at home. So even after, carefully planning all this, when we see parents getting very anxious about the child not eating and the child struggling to close the tiffin box, it is very sad to see that the child is struggling and becoming anxious. So please don't have that expectation that your child is not starving. No child will starve. Eventually, if they are very hungry, they will eat. Whatever they get, they will eat. That is what it is. So pack an appropriate amount of food. Keep meals simple. So as I told you, they at 8:30 when they come in, they are expected to have breakfast and come, and they are expected to carry a snack. And a snack is just a simple in between thing to eat. So it can be either fruit or nuts or anything simple, but just one snack. We have multiple boxes of snacks, the bento box where every hole is filled with strawberry, peach, makana, nuts, fruits. So when the moment the child opens that, snack itself is overwhelming for them, which is not needed. A child doesn't need a 5-course snack or a 5-course meal. All they need is one simple snack. And in the same way, it is for lunch. You can have variety, like one day chapati, one day rice, one day pasta, whatever suits your family, whatever your family culture is. But then again, if it is rice and vegetable, roti and vegetable. It can be that simple. Again, I see many parents giving bento boxes. Bento box has become the trend now. So with roti, rice, salad, dessert, it's like a 5-course meal that a 3.5-year-old carries. That box is like a suitcase for the child. One, they are not able to carry it themselves. The amount is very large. Spillage is high. They are not able to maintain it. And the moment they see it, they don't want to eat so much. They don't know where to start. They don't know where to end. They are feeling very anxious to close it without eating. there are so many things involved uh, in in the love that you put in that bento box. So can we please have it simple? Just one snack box and one lunch box. That is enough. So that is what we mean by keep meals simple. Reusable containers. This is one important point which we wanted to communicate. Like when parents send snacks, we see peanut bars, chicky, unpeeled banana. What happens is unpeeled banana is completely fine, but that is given as a just that fruit. What is that? Savar or the English banana?
Red banana.
Red banana, the one whole big red banana, which a child can definitely not finish. But what happens is they eat just a few mouths and they throw it in the dustbin because they don't have any container to put it in. And chickies or peanut bars, this yogurt cups, 200-gram yogurt cups. And again, the child eats only a few mouths and that goes to the dustbin. One is the adults' need is high because they are not able to eat it independently. Everyone wants help to open it. Their independence is that is a big problem. Another thing is, what are we teaching our children when you take just a few mouths and then you can throw it in the dustbin? So if actually the yogurt is in a, if you put it in a container and give, they can close it and at least bring it home. Or we can even say that if it is a elder children, we can say the yogurt has to be kept in the fridge. You can put it back in the fridge and take it when you go home. Casa children and toddler children may not understand food wastage as such, but then they are seeing and observing what we are doing. When you eat something and when you don't want, when you directly put it in the dump, we are sending a very wrong message. Reusable napkins, foils, those are all things that goes in the dump, which should be avoided because we have the responsibility to teach our children about wastage and reusable things also. So reusable, please use reusable containers. Pack only what's needed. So in a bag, water bottle, napkin towel, snack box, lunch box, and child size cutlery. Only this much is needed, and of course the pair of clothes that is just pair of clothes. Apart from this, the bag shouldn't have anything. Keep the car, road, everything keeps coming out of the bag. Only this much is needed in a bag.
At home participation. I think we are covered all.
So everywhere manifestation. What is this? Sorry.
Okay, I think we are already covered. At home.
Oh, at home, yes. At home, you can.
Just 5 points are about school.
Okay. At home, you can always involve them in. You can ask them. You can give them choice. You can ask them to pack for snack.
Packing
Pack
food
for
for school.
pack snack. And pack food. They can choose the amount of food. This is for bitter children. They can fill their own water bottles. Those contributions, those responsibilities can be given to children according to their age. So every choice you make when packing your child's bag either supports or limits their limits. Samples. I'll just show a few samples of water bottles, snack box, lunch box for you to understand what we are saying.
So
this is
a few of the samples which you cannot see. The bag says.
You can pause it up.
This.
If you can explain what is good about it, what is
Yes,
expected.
exactly.
Oh, these are for Casa children and Toddler children.
Full snack boxes and lunch boxes.
Water bottles. Lunch towel also. One thing about the bag that you like something firm for the child which they can wear and not something sloppy. That itself becomes another thing for them to manage when they are wearing it and so something firm which they can manage. These are some samples, things and foods. This size is very good for a child. Something very big, they can't fit it inside their mouth. So this is especially for toddler and Casa children.
This is easy to do.
Some heroes use this. I mean, this is not that you have to bring only this,
No.
but for the size.
Yeah. What if the kid says like, I don't want to get the small bag, I want to be the large bag.
Maybe a small bag.
Because she can put her dress and everything at once. So she prefers a bigger bag than
Full bottles for, I think we get it for ourselves, not for our children. But what happens is there is a lot of conflict that happens here because when there is a beautiful teddy bear in one water bottle, obviously all children want to touch it and then there is a fight because this is my bottle, your bottle, I want to touch it. So something simple like this where it doesn't leak but completely functional. So that is why we say keep simple. This is also what we insist on, keeping it simple. All beautiful bottles that you buy for yourself, you can have it at home and drink. You also drink, your children can also drink. So this is for
To solve all these problems, I think in other schools they give the bag, water bottle, tiffin box.
so we were thinking
We consider doing that.
then it becomes control. So
Clothing, everything.
Clothes also they give.
So we considered giving bags, water bottles, snack, lunch, everything. But then it becomes too much. So this is about Casa and Toddler. Do you have any questions or should we move to elementary?
So the reason behind all this is to only support the child's independence. It is not to control what you want to do, or that is not our intention at all. Whatever is best for the child, we want to work together as a team to make sure the child has that independence, scope for independence.
instead of tissue, give napkin.
Yes, napkin comes too much. Yes, it is napkin is always better because they fold it and keep it and then washed and we don't use tissues at all here. We always use cloths for everything because we use. This is for toddlers that has embroidery. Just the
Just for size reference, something like
And for elementary children, it goes a bit deeper because at this stage they have a strong sense of justice, growing intelligence, good sense of imagination, and they also have reasoning mind. So all this eating independently, boxed, those doesn't matter because they are completely capable of eating independently. They have that, eating independently. They have the physical coordination and confidence to take care of themselves. That is all done. That is all there in 6 to 12. But our role is ensuring that not just to nourish their body, we can challenge them and nourish their mind. So what we would suggest is one simple way is to involve them in meal planning. If not for the whole week, we can start something very simple with just one meal per week or one meal for the whole week. So what we can do is we can plan saying you can sit with the child and discuss So what can we have for lunch tomorrow? Uh, uh, so if the child says chapati and paneer, so what are the ingredients that we need? Write the list. What is it? What are the things that are already available? What should we get from the market? And how is it possible to prepare? All that discussion can happen, and then the child can actually go along with you. You can go to the vegetable shop, get the ingredients, and so when all this is happening, math or science is not confined to uh, the classroom alone. So one parent might be interested in math, one parent might be interested in science, one parent might be interested in botany. So conversations roll on its own because elementary children are naturally very curious. So when you go and buy vegetables, potato, paneer, so how does paneer come? How does potato form? So vegetables, botany, all that, if the parent is interested, or some might be interested in finance, so 100 rupees note, or whatever that is. So all those conversations will nourish their mind. They will start thinking about it, and it is all interlinked. So that is how um, cosmic education is, because not just one topic is standalone. Everything is linked. So that is how you can involve an elementary children in food prep. So also they have a strong sense of justice, fair, unfair, and all that. So once you prepare the meal, do all the shopping, prepare the meal and eat, and if there is any wastage, can sit with them and discuss. So we put in a lot of effort. We put so much money into it, but there is so much wastage. So how can we reduce it? How do you think we can go about it the next time? So if you start with just one simple meal and then take it on a regular basis, and you can actually involve them in all three meals: meal prep and uh, meal planning and meal preparation. They are very much capable of it. So at some point when this is continuously done, food preparation is not just the responsibility of the adult or the mother or the father. It becomes a combined effort of the child and the caretakers. So it becomes a combined effort. It is not the sole responsibility of the parent. So that is how you can aid them to be prep. So in Montessori, food is not only nourishment for the body, it is nourishment for the mind, an opportunity for independence, responsibility, collaboration, and joyful learning. Every meal can become an experience that connects the child to mathematics, science, history, language, economics, and most importantly, through family and community. So when you sit together, plan meals, when you shop together, there is connection, and that sense of community and family is also there. Do you want to add something?
A point about food wastage. So, rather than food wastage is not okay. I think all of us agree with that. But to implement with the child, it shouldn't be fear-based or it shouldn't be forced upon them. An elementary child is very capable of understanding justice or wasted effort or wasted money. So if you have a rational discussion with them and make them understand, this is why we don't waste food. For all the resources that have gone in, the farmer's effort, the water usage, whatever you want to improve the truth, all we need to do is tell the truth, and they are capable of reasoning and recognize the crime of food wastage by themselves. We want them to understand about food wastage and then stop, rather than the adult forcing it on them.
So preparing meals and involving them in shopping is one way, that is the beginning. Elementary children are also capable of preparing simple food at home. Say, for example, you can give one day for them, saying Saturday evening, my child is going to make tea, or my child is going to make simple dinner, and let them make it. So we can celebrate that as an event where the child takes responsibility for feeding the whole family. So they are very much capable of that, and we can celebrate this contribution. The point here is not to uh, perfectly, expect perfect food, or that is not the point. It is to value that contribution from the child, and celebrating that contribution. So gradually the child can take responsibility for one simple dish every week, and then gradually increase it. Um, they are very much capable of doing complex dishes also once they start doing all this. So the purpose is not to produce perfect food, but to help the child become increasingly independent and capable. So one key thing is, as adults, we shouldn't pressurize this as something on the child. It shouldn't overwhelm the child, it shouldn't overwhelm us. So if we have not started at all, it is best to start with small steps, as one single meal, one single tea. It is better to start that way than overwhelm both us and the child. So when they participate in preparing food, it is not just about cooking skills. They learn to plan, sequence their work, solve problems, manage time, take responsibility, and also experience the satisfaction of contributing meaningfully to their family. So through all these experiences, they start to see themselves as a capable member, or important member of the family, because they are very much capable of offering to others, skill wise and intelligence wise. So in this way, food preparation becomes another opportunity for the elementary child to exercise independence, reasoning, concentration, and responsibilities. Anything to add? So this is about elementary. So what we hope children carry forward, the aim is not to create perfect eaters or perfect family meals. It is to establish a respectful direction, enough calm, participation, trust, and connection that a child's relationship with food stays flexible and joyful, not shaped by pressure or fear. Again, reiterating, every meal shapes two relationships: the child's relationship with food and the relationship with themselves. We hold both responsibility and trust, providing nourishment, rhythm, boundaries, and care, while making space for the child's appetite, effort, and growing independence. The points summary. Food is an emotional and relational experience, not only a nutritional one. Participation builds independence, competence, and belonging. Children need adult structure and respect for their internal body signals. Pressure, distraction, rewards, and fear may work briefly but weaken body trust. Respectful feeding supports body autonomy alongside direct safety education. Simple containers, realistic portions, and genuine responsibilities support independence daily. For elementary children, food is a doorway into reasoning, culture, science, and justice.
took on her big flask, coffee flask. If you open money, see that this is how in the present way. I know that வீட்டுக்குள்ள வந்து she used the flask. வீட்டுல வந்து flask if I have to put that in the wardrobe so that she cannot identify it as a flask.
We are very aware that especially toddlers, they imitate whatever we do. Whatever I do, jeans or not, I just pull it up. So nothing else. எல்லாருமே அவங்க போட்டிருந்த பேண்ட்டை மேலே எழுதி விட்டு அதுல இருந்து ஒரு 4-5 நாளைக்கு they had pulled up their pants saying she can't be dressed like this only. So I am very careful, and even when I drink from glass, I sip and drink, because for them if I drink like this they will pour it. So I sip and drink. I didn't realize, notice this and do it.
Same
So,
exact size flask.
so probably I should use a smaller one in the classroom so that they
Can't she tell her that this child's size is
Again, I solid actually. She asked me.
see, that is the whole point. Toddlers, they want what their adult want. They imitate whatever the adult does. So if you don't want them to do something, then you shouldn't do it.
So what I did was, on the flask full of honey fill panni, I gave it to her. Are you able to carry it? அது முடியலன்னா ஆனா அவன் என்ன பண்ணானா half fill தான் எடுத்து அவ குடிச்சிட்டா. Like how much she could carry.
I should use a smaller.
Okay.
So everything, kannadi inga mela vachana, they imitate everything that the adults around them. So it's a very
Responsible.
like they are like curious. Enna pannalum immediately they will do it. So sometimes it's good validation, sometimes it's scary.
My daughter, she surrounded by many kids in the urban campus. So she imitates whatever the other kids do, with immediate catching. She saw somebody spitting, like same age kid spitting. So she started spitting everywhere at home. So I asked her why you are doing that suddenly. Surely very busy. So she saw somebody else told that, and I saw him doing it. So I am also doing. So I told her not to do that. And then whenever I told her not to do it, she keep on doing it again and again. So sometimes I have to resort with the harsh way to tell her to stop for doing that bad thing. So can we just ignore it, or should we stop them from imitating that if it is a bad thing that they are capturing from others?
You can't ignore it. You will have to say no. But saying no doesn't mean you have to be harsh. You can keep saying this is not acceptable. And if you really want to spit, you can go and spit in the bathroom. Redirect. You can spit in the wash station. You can spit in the bathroom, not here. You want to say something?
Yeah, I know.
That is one way. And if something is unacceptable behavior, you have to say no, but it need not be harsh. Boundaries need not be harsh. Boundaries are the next topic for next month. We will talk about that in detail. You can.
So you can say we don't do this in our family. We don't know the reason why the child is doing. We don't know why it is doing. Instead of saying it is bad, you can say we don't do this in our family, or we don't do this in our house. And people always imitate because they want to learn something or they want to express something. I am guessing in this scenario, the act of spitting, even though it might be disgusting for adults or it might be unacceptable in a social setting, your daughter is still trying to express something. We really don't know why. So instead of stopping that, one thing is you can redirect her to go spit in the bathroom, along with the message that we don't do this in our home, and also reflect back to her asking, I wonder why you are doing this. We don't need answers. We just need to reflect back. I am wondering why you are doing this. We don't do this at our home. If you want to do it, you go to the bathroom. If you do all these three things consistently without being harsh or anything, automatically that behavior will stop. And you might actually learn about why she is choosing to do that also.
think the consequence cannot be added there. Like if you do this, then this.
We don't set consequences. The consequences should be natural. So, if you have a scenario based on which you're asking this question, it might be more.
No, for this, there is no natural consequence.
Like,
What is
for
the natural
eating,
consequence? She can write her own.
So if she spits,
say for eating, in case of eating,
the child is hitting others, you should definitely say no. If the child is not able to listen to you, no, you have to physically stop the child. And if and actually, why we have to figure out why the child is hitting. Where is he learning? Where is he? Who is modeling hitting for him? And we can also direct. Hitting is an expression of frustration or anger. So how else safely can we express this? Expression is okay, your emotion is okay, but the way it is expressed is not okay. So if you feel hungry, you can go hit the pillow on the bed, so that you are safe, I am safe, everyone is safe, and all the things are also safe.
We have set up the context for next
For boundaries. Boundaries is it's a very important concept, both for us as adults and for children also. I will share this slide with you. Okay.
I have something to share. This is from my own experience. So with my first child, with all good intentions of not force feeding, letting the child decide, things were going. But when external comments come in, like, oh, he has become so thin, or this it triggered me a lot. Plus, in our society, food, health, height, weight of the child, everything is like, it is pinned on the mother. So that used to make me change, oh, should I feed him more? Probably he's not getting enough. So I saw that a lot of unhelpful changes in me when I started getting comments from outsiders about how he used to be chubby, not he is thin now, what happened and all that. So even what I think is, even if this comes from your own mother or my mother-in-law or your neighbor or anyone, we should start ignoring it. As long as you know that your child is doing well, the child is active, and there is no illness or anything, it's okay. We should. We don't know the intention with which they are saying, or it is just a comment in the passing. So we should also treat it like that and let it go. We should not change ourselves if we are already doing good. I mean, in the way of how we are, how the relationship with food is for the child. This was one thing, it hit me hard because I changed how I was, because I was receiving these comments that he has become thin. This is
There is no correlation between body weight and health. It's a very wrong thing we are believing as a society. Body weight stops being important when the child turns 1, 2, maximum 3. Although now we should track body weight. I think for 24 months, until 24 months, doctors try body weight, I guess. Otherwise, it's a yearly thing that we rarely check.
don't mind things that you're sharing. Don't mind you. Like implement பண்ண கஷ்டமா இருக்கு ஆக்சுவலி எல்லாரும் கோஆப்ரேட் பண்ணுறாங்க மாதிரி ஏற்றுக்கவும் ஹார்ட் experience you shared, I the Telangana was great.
Even with my daughter, it just happened. Adya is sleeping, so everyone asks, "Nee வந்து அவளை சாப்பாடு கொடுக்குறீங்களா இல்லையா?"
It's the most common shaming that adults do to others.
People can be very insensitive. They have no right to talk about our upbringing or the way we, and we also take it seriously at times. We should put the boundary. Okay, you are there, again, please don't question me about how I am raising my child.
Those are all shaming. I don't know where the intention or wellness is in this comment, but still.
Even if it's coming from an expert or from someone who knows what they are talking, or at least have the best intentions in their mind, we can at least ignore this. But when we know that they
No,
they
even
have an
then there is a
agenda.
way to say it, right? Like if
Yeah.
the child is really not okay with respect to weight or physical health, then it comes from a different
Concern.
concern and in a different way saying you have to take care of your child with this, do that. Even then, you don't have any right to go and say to a mother that நீ சாப்பாடு போடுறியா இல்லையான்னு
And
கேட்கணும்.
most often in front of the child.
Yes. So
when you look at
that
the
is not okay at all at any point, any intention from
So
anybody.
you can easily pick which inputs to take, which not to take, and not let it impact you negatively.
Even doctors are saying that.
Yes, that's the most insensitive. People, unfortunately, adults feel that to make it jovial or to make us comfortable, comments like this are ways to
Conversation started.
yeah.
But it actually impacts in other areas like body shaping, like you're talking. Whole childhood I heard big thing. Mother was also not stopping those people. Mothers are unable to answer them. Still, as an adult, so when we visit our village, there those elderly ladies, they will say, now this time I was so much hurt, I told her directly, politely, I don't like this, please do this way. It is hurting me like this, I don't. And it actually impacts other areas like how we show up. We don't want to go to meet our relatives or family function. So people say out of their intention